So it seems that Google has been cooking up something big, and you can check it out at aistudio.google.com. And for the model, we'll use, so we're going to use Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental output, format images and text, create a realistic zone for my game using this sprite sheet. Think about the best setup step by step, then output an image, and I'll upload the image that we're looking at. Here's a video game sprite sheet I found online, so let's check it out. So thought about it and how to do it. It's establishing the ground layer first. Start by laying out the ground using brown dirt, stone, etc. Create slopes and transitions. Underground cave optional. Implement water features optional. And wow, that is kind of phenomenal. I was expecting an overhead one, but I guess based on the sprite sheet we gave it, yeah, it would be kind of a side scroller. Next, I'll give this image. Notice the watermark is all over it, so it kind of corrupts the picture a little bit. And we're going to say again. No, we need to do some prompt engineering on this one. Again, exclamation point. Let's go. So I like that it starts by identifying core elements. That seems very smart. My first instinct was to explain to it to create a village populated with characters, but based on the sprite sheet, it should be, kind of obvious. And it noticed that, so it's like a cluster of houses where the townspeople live, and there's the image. So compare that to the original image. Let me know in the comments if you've ever played Kairosoft games. I feel like it would be incredibly easy to create those little mobile games with something like this. So I think it did a pretty great job. Notice no watermarks or anything else like that. It explains how it organized everything. Let's add characters. Add characters from the sprite sheet. Oh, warning, what happened? Content not permitted. Probability of unsafe content. Ooh, what could it have possibly put on there? So I want to say a big thank you to Google because I think this is one of the only models and outputs that has this, right? So you're able to select the safety settings. Harassment, hate, various naughty images, dangerous content, civic integrity. I don't know what civic integrity could possibly mean. So there's some discussions online about what it is. But yeah, something here is bad for society, apparently. I'm not even going to, let's just continue. I'm going to say retry. So apparently it just won't output that thing. Oh well. So it thinks through it. It says avoid overcrowding, but it's giving me this. Okay. So yeah, whatever image it's about to generate is going to just cause a complete collapse in our society. It's just unsafe. So let's try something else. Next, we're going to take this. So it has two animations, kind of a still animation and a hammer smash animation. We're going to say create more actions for this character. Make running, sleeping, eating, and high kick. Let's see where it takes us. All right, that's not quite what we were looking for. Try this again. Create a sprite sheet for this character with different actions. So it's struggling with this particular thing, but let's try something else. So we're going to take this image and we're going to say, make her angry. I like how fast it outputs things. Okay, she's angry-ish. How about make her very happy? All right, that's not too bad. It's all right. Here's her angry face. Make her expression neutral and add red glowing eyes. All right, that's pretty good, I got to say. That's a weird sort of like perspective on a person's face, and it's able to kind of do the facial expressions pretty well. I'm sure if it was a more straightforward looking perspective, like it would be easier. But I got to say, this is pretty good. Not perfect, but very good, very impressive. I've ridden a motorbike one time in my life. I fell off and hurt myself. This picture was taken shortly before the fall. I'm probably never riding a motorbike again, but let's see if Google can make me jump over a row of cars on the bike. I'm actually curious how well this will work. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Make me ride the bike on top of a rooftop in a large city during the night. So this isn't quite as good, but let me try again with the original image. So it uses the last image in this thread. So we're going to repost image, say, make me be riding my bike on a city rooftop at night. So it no longer looks like me, it looks like the shoes, everything changed, but the background is great. So the city looks good. Maybe that's not the best photo to use. All right, next we got the lo-fi beats girl. Change the girl to a guy with sunglasses and a boombox. Okay, this also destroys society. Let's try again. Change the girl to a guy drinking coffee. That's really, really good. The new image almost seems a little bit sharper in some ways. Like it recreates the entire image. As far as I can tell, if you look at the little photos there, they're not the same. Although I gotta say, I can tell what's in these photos. That's a cat, that's the girl, that's like a family of some sort, I think. But I can't really tell what's here. So I guess they look sharper, but you do lose some details. But the rest of it seems very good. Change the cat to a pigeon, because why not? Content not permitted. I have no idea what's happening. Change the cat to a pigeon. And again, I took down all of the sort of the censored settings because you can go here and edit safety settings. So I did. Everything's off. Change the safety, block most. There's nothing. None of these should be happening. So this is bizarre. How about change it to night? Content not permitted. Weird. So halfway through my video, the particular model I was using, that specific little selection disappeared and it got replaced with this, which seems like it's the same thing. So it's still Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental. But now instead of being in the preview section, it's in the Gemini 2 section and it says image generation in parentheses. So not sure if anything changed, but here's the original. I said, make her happy. Here's what it put out. That's pretty good. How about this? Create a sprite sheet of assets for an isometric view RPG dungeon crawler. So it thinks through everything, kind of thinks about what it needs, chests and barrels and tables and bookshelf and torches. And all right, so it wrote it out. Let's say make it into an image. Where is the image? All right, so it thought through it step by step and it created this image for us. That's pretty good. It's got some walls and weapons and barrels and potions and gold coins. Oh my. By the way, I found that adding think through it step by step and create an image helps because sometimes it gets confused and then it just talks about it, doesn't create an image. And if you kind of say, where's the image? It's like, oh, well, as a text-based image model or as a text-based large language models, I can't do that. Just adding think through it step by step and then create an image, that seems to help it in a lot of cases. All right, there we go. That is pretty cool. So we got the little character, we got the walls, we got the crates, the barrels, the doors. Phenomenal. Add some potions and coins and a few torches with lighting effects that illuminate a small area around it. You know what I'm going to say next. Think through it step by step and then create an image. Yes. Again, this really does seem to help in this particular instance for some reason, like really needs that extra instruction. Wow, that's pretty good. Okay, so it had a potion, a few barrels, tons of gold coins, and a few torches. The torches are a little bit weird. They're more like windows that are casting light. Change the torchlight effect. It's more of a spotlight now. It needs to be area lighting. Think through it step by step. All right, so there it goes. I got to say, I like how fast that is. Really liking the speed on this one. So it couldn't really change the effect. Let's do this. Yeah, it's saying it's doing diffuse lighting. It's really not. Let's take away the torches and lighting, remove most of the coins. Almost forgot. Think through it step by step. There are still torches. All right, so here's what I'm seeing. It seems like when you're adding multiple things at the same time in the model's sort of a brain, it sort of gets mushed together and later it's becoming more and more difficult to then go in and edit those things. So if you say throw these 3 things in and then you want to change one of those things, it runs into difficulties. But let's try to go back to this thing that I made. And we're going to say, we're going to start from scratch. Create a dungeon zone for the player to explore using this sprite sheet. Think through it step by step. All right, I'm liking that. Very different approach. Let's do this. We're going to say, highlight the walkable area in green. So can it sort of understand which of those areas? Nope. That's not correct. All right, let's try this. Create an entire fictional game world with consistent UI, lighting, and art direction across multiple screenshots. So it creates something like this, looking very, very good. It talks about specific UI element crossing the bridge, a puzzle of some sort that you have to solve, activate conduit using the F key is displayed near the central platform. Here's the player being engaged with a large boss of some sort, a vast alcove, library looking thing. Very, very good. Let's try the same thing, but it's a 3D person game similar to Deus Ex. So it knows that the style is sort of a blend of cyberpunk grit and biopunk organicism. Interesting. Okay. Urban environments, etc. All right. It's definitely kind of nailing that futuristic look. Omnicore Labs. Very good. And the bioluminescent gardens, I'm again running into this content not permitted. So again, this has been the most frustrating thing about this is it like randomly thinks that some content is like bad for society or something like that. I can't even tell, but I've turned off all of the sort of the safety settings. You know, it's frustrating because it's like, I understand if I had some of these on, but I don't, they're all off. So I reset it and then, you know, do not run safety filters, but still, this is frustrating. The stuff it generates is excellent, but why, when I have all the settings off, why? What is the reasoning behind that? All right, how about create a Blender 3D screenshot with the default cube visible? That certainly looks very lifelike, or I guess real, I should say. Delete the cube and add a werewolf head. Is a werewolf head just a wolf head? head. That's looking pretty good, I gotta say. Yeah, I always want to rotate it. This is looking good. Here we're taking the shot out of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and we're saying replace the can with an iPhone. Here's that. That's pretty good. Here we have a random model stock photo and a delicious Kirkland cold brew coffee. Can we in fact make her hold the can up to model it for us? Yes, we can. That's pretty good. All right, how about something a little bit more complicated? Let's make her drink the coffee from the coffee can. Make her drink the coffee can. All right, so the left one would have been perfect if it was just by itself. It also added this. Let me try that again because it was so close to being perfect. We're going to delete it and we're going to just say that again. There it is. I'm going to say it's just ever so slightly unnatural. The writing is a little bit garbled, but very good. Let's see if we can do sort of a storyboard multi-image generation, create multiple shots of her drinking, then going, then closing her eyes in pleasure. Let's see if that's going to come out. All right, so I did the shot again, but not the 3 shots we wanted. Let's say create 3 images instead of 3 shots. We can actually edit this prompt and hit rerun that prompt. All right, so there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's following the directions, but not exactly what we wanted. So we're going to try it again. We're going to say, think through it step by step and generate the images. So I gave it these 2 images. So here's her holding the can. You know what? This is probably one of the better ones so far. At a glance, I can't even tell that this has been AI generated. Now, if I zoom in, if you zoom in, you can kind of see the words are a little bit garbled. The pinky nail is a little bit fused. But other than that, I got to say, near perfect hand generation around a nearly, I mean, the can is perfect, like the 3D sort of volume of it or whatever. The text is garbled, but the can looks perfect. You can see it's sort of wider at the bottom and almost like narrowing a little bit. So it's trying to capture that perspective. Everything else looks great. This is very impressive. Okay, here's her enjoying the aftertaste. I don't know. I mean, yes, it kind of followed the directions, but I don't know if this is, I mean, I wouldn't use that for an advertisement. And here's, this is the moment. She's still not quite there. And here's her just enjoying the aftertaste. All right. It's pretty good. I mean, technically followed the instructions. A little bit weird. The facial expressions are a little bit weird, but this first one I gotta say is absolutely phenomenal. This is surprisingly good to me. All right, here's a good one. So here's 2 ladies enjoying coffee, and they got that foam mustache. So let's see if it's able to work with that. I'm gonna say take the woman on the right and create a passport photo of her. So let's see if we're able to just skip the passport photos and just use this to generate our document photos. So interestingly, it used, as far as I understand, the first person, or maybe some sort of a amalgamation of these 2. Let's start a brand new prompt. So that was likely due to the fact that we just didn't open a new context window. So take the person on the right and create a passport photo of her. So I'm curious if it's going to include the foam mustache or not. That doesn't look right. All right, let's try this. Take the photo of the woman on the left and create a passport photo of her on a white background with a neutral expression. This is the output. This is the original. It's okay. It's not great. But let's see how well it's able to create images and iterate on them. So make an image of a fit woman who is standing on a beach. Nailed it. Give her a surfboard. I almost said nailed it, and it kind of did, but see if you can spot the problem. So close. Just 1 extra hand in there. Other than that, I mean, literally, and maybe an extra belly button. But other than that, it's phenomenal. Now let's give her a cowboy hat. Bingo. Still the hands are in there, but that's okay. Make her raise her hand like she's asking a question. So that's not quite what we're looking for. Let's remove the surfboard. All right, that's pretty good. So we removed the surfboard and also got rid of that extra hand. Make her point behind herself while looking at the camera with a mouth open, shocked expression. All right, that's not bad. I mean, she's not pointing behind herself. Make her point behind herself. Okay, we can't point behind herself. Make her point with both hands at the camera. And you get a car and you get a car. All right. So those were some of the successful kind of visual things that I was able to do. I'm very impressed with its image editing capabilities, being able to kind of iterate on one image and keep changing different things within the image. It's pretty good at that. The image output, the quality is not always stellar, but it's surprisingly good for the amount of sort of fine-tuned little changes that you can make. Also, the outputs that people were getting with the sort of the model when it was under the experimental tab or rather when it was under the preview tab, those outputs, both for me and the ones that I've seen online, seemed much, much better. Very, very impressive. With this one, there was a few that I just wasn't getting as good of an output, so I'm not sure what exactly changed. At some point, it kind of forced me to switch to this model. But Google is shipping a lot of very exciting products. Most recent one is something like a canvas that they're adding to their Gemini models, similar to what OpenAI has with Canvas. And all in all, very exciting. And I think it's definitely going to allow people to do some like Photoshop style edits without needing to actually go in there and change anything. And as this model improves, it might get a lot better than Photoshop. Again, this model is experimental. It's not for production use. It's for feedback, for testing. And so I'd say while, there's a bit of a range in the quality of outputs, like if you look at the top 50% of the quality of outputs, they are incredible. They're surprising. They're really, really good. Both the ones I've tried and some of the ones that I've seen online, they show great visual reasoning skills and a great ability to transform specific text instructions into custom-made images. And of course, if you look at kind of like the bottom half of the quality of outputs, those aren't as impressive, a little bit funny, a little bit weird sometimes. But again, you can see kind of like the power of the model. And as it continues improving, it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes. There's a lot of power here. The speed, the ability, the reasoning, it's very, very exciting, even in this sort of early experimental stage. But let me know what you think. Have you had a chance to play around with it? Let me know what you think. Do you think one day we'll be using something like this versus something like Photoshop? Like it's going to replace image editing with AI image editing? Let me know in the comments. If you made this far, thank you so much for watching. My name is Wes Roth, and I'll see you next time.